Hi, I'm Yaswanth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to the book club. So in this video, I want to talk about a book called Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. So in my opinion, every individual should read this book because every individual wants to earn money. But if you don't know how to spend money, how to create wealth out of that, then ultimately it's of no use how much to earn. This book mainly concentrate on the difference between being rich versus being wealthy. So it's not that every rich people will become wealthy. So take an example, like rich often make mistakes. If you can take an example of most of the athletes and most of the celebrities, regularly see news like a particular celebrity went bankrupt or a particular athlete went bankrupt and a particular sports player is now working as a cab driver. You will see a lot of things, right? The reason is even though they have earned more in their peak time, but they don't know how to manage their finances, and that's the reason why they went bankrupt. And you can see many individuals who are earning less salary when compared to others, they become more wealthy than people who are earning more salary. The reason is they know how to manage their finances, they know how to invest smartly. So these are the most taken by them to become wealthy. So in this video we will see different concepts that are explained by Morgan Housel. So we all have unique experiences of investing. So not every individual invests their money in the same way. We all have unique experiences. Take an example. So you have invested in a time the recession is taking place, then like you will get an impression that so investing is not a safer option because you will lose all the money. So this is the opinion that is created in your mind because you have invested in the wrong time. So similarly, take an example of another individual where they have invested their money and suddenly it goes up by 2x or 3x. Then he believes that investing is the only way to become wealthier. So these are the different opinions, but they have invested same money, they have invested on the same place, but the time that they invested, the time they have chosen to invest matters. Not everyone is same. So if you can hear financial decisions from the people who have lost all their money on recession, then ultimately it's a foolish thing. And similarly, if you have taken advice from a person who gained 2x to 3x because of the time that they have invested in the market, that means it's a foolish decision. So we all have unique experiences. Every individual is having unique experiences. So believe in yourself and do enough research. Don't take decisions blindly by asking one or two. Second thing that Housel explained is about Bill Gates' competitive advantage. Of course, competitive advantage is very important in becoming wealthier. Take an example of a Bill Gates. So Bill Gates studied in Harvard University. So he is highly talented and works extremely hard, but he is also having this competitive advantage because he attended one of the few high schools in the world at the time to own a computer. No one is using computers at the time in 1970s, but Bill Gates have the access to that. It is what competitive advantage is. You need to use your competitive advantage to become wealthier. So Bill Gates used that, and it doesn't mean Bill Gates is not talented, but he has that advantage. Similarly, every individual has one or two competitive advantages. You need to utilize that. So if you utilize that to the 100%, then ultimately you can become wealthier. Third thing that I like about in this book is rich people are more likely to make crazy decisions. So because Housel clearly explained that the goalposts seem to increase more when you earn more. So it means like there are countless individuals who have lost everything because they felt the millions they had were not enough. So if one realizes that the money that they have is not enough, then ultimately they take some crazy decisions which results in, you can say, going bankrupt. So mostly rich people are not wealthier always, so they take some bad decisions because of poor financial literacy. So this is something that one should avoid. So, and the fourth lesson that Housel explained is Warren Buffett is a clear example of compound interest. If you can see Warren Buffett's investments, 50% of his total earnings accumulated after his 50th birthday. Which means this is the power of compounding. So if you invest small amounts every month or every year, it will gradually doubles and doubles and doubles. It is the power of compounding. The key to compounding isn't about earning the highest returns. So you want pretty good returns that you can stick with the longest period for time. So it's about the discipline in investing. So then only you can see the power of compounding. Other thing that Housel explained is people believe that wealth will make them popular. So this is an assumption to most of the people. So take an example. If you see a person driving a luxury car, and the person who bought the car, like they feel like people will look at me and will think good about me. It is something that a person thinks before buying a car. But imagine like if you see a person driving that costly new car, then you feel like when will I buy this kind of clothes? So it is something that you feel instead of pricing that individual, you feel this thing. So this is a paradox because others would have the same thoughts and not consider you cool. So people will not treat that individual as a cool person. Before that, they consider them, they imagine themselves in that position. So if you're creating good wealth and if you're buying costly things, then ultimately it doesn't always makes you look cool, but it creates a benchmark to the others who want to learn from you, or I can say who want to replicate the benchmark that you have created. The other thing that Housel explained is stop judging people by their visible wealth. So this is something that is very important. So if you see someone driving a costliest car, it doesn't mean they have purchased that by their hard work. There are options that they have purchased that by EMIs. Don't judge people by the visible wealth. So real wealth is something that you do not see. So if you invest on something, it is something that people will not see, but it is your visible wealth. So, but it is a real wealth. So don't judge people just by looking at the luxury items that they have purchased and luxury things that they are carrying. So it's not the wealth actually. So wealth is something that we do not see. So whether it might be investing, whether it might be learning. So if you learn multiple skills, it is your wealth, but people will not see that. So this is the real wealth. So stop judging people based on the visible wealth. The other thing that Housel clearly mentioned is your savings rate is key. So it's not that how much interest do you earn. Your income or investment returns are less important than your savings rate. So if you are a kind of individual who is saving every month with good discipline, then ultimately it is something that will create wealth for you. But it's not that if you are earning 20% interest on your savings, it's not something that determine your wealth. Of course interest rates are important, but your savings rate is much more important than that. High savings rate means like having lower expenses than you otherwise could. So having lower expenses means your savings go further than they would if you spent more. So your savings rate is the financial decisions you have the greatest control over. Your savings rate is the greatest financial decision that you have control over, but not on your interest rate. But your savings rate, you can completely control your savings rate. So this is important than the interest. Other thing Housel clearly mentioned in his book is stop comparing historical data. So because when we are taking any smart decisions, we always look at historical data. This will not work most of the times because the situations are changing rapidly. So things are changing, technology is advancing things. So it doesn't mean like the thing that is happened 5 years ago will happen now. So it may change. Always considering historical data is very wrong because you may end up losing everything if you do that. Basing your investment solely on past performance is a bad decision. So history can be misleading guide to the future of economy and especially in stock market and other investments because it doesn't account for structural changes that are relevant to today's world because everything is changing rapidly. The other thing Housel mentioned is find your personal finance identity. It means that you can speak to knowledgeable friends or read books from financial experts to develop your understanding of finance. It is okay, but taking decisions from the people who have different quantities of money and I can say end goals is wrong. So because if you are taking decisions from an individual who is already rich, who is already earning crores of money, then ultimately it may end up as a bad decision because they have already experienced all these things and they are now in a mindset far away from you. So it is not good to take financial advices from people who are already rich or I can say who have different goals than you. So always try to take financial decisions from the people who are of same level to you or who are growing from the same level that you came from. So it is advisable. And the last thing that I love is like be a financial optimist. Like financial optimism is not like expecting more returns or expecting more from whatever you have invested. It is all about expecting things to be bad and being surprised when they are not. So it was like if you expect on an average level, then like if it is more than that average, then ultimately you will feel happy. So it is what financial optimism is. If you expect more, then like if you fail to reach that level, then ultimately you felt like you are lost and you will disappoint with yourself. So this is very bad. So financial optimism is all about expecting less and it crossed your expectation, then ultimately you will become happier. So this is something a financial optimism is. So these are all the lessons that Morgan Housel taught in the book Psychology of Money. There are various other things which are available in this book, so you can find the link of this book in the description too. So this is a very great book to read because there are various lessons. Every individual needs to earn money, every individual needs to grow their wealth, but if you take wrong decisions and wrong steps, then ultimately you will end up losing all your money. So managing your finances is also an important thing. So that's the reason why I love this book and I recommend everyone to read this book at least once. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and share this video in your network. Also, if you are a new visitor to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.